Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mountain Man Monday. I'm your host, Mr. Mountain Man, coming to you live from the mountains of Western North Carolina. Today is April the 4th, 2022, and I want to welcome you to LiveStream episode number 109. I hope you are having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Things are going fantastically here in the mountains as far as the weather. Spring is arrived for the most part, has arrived for the most part. We have milder temps. It's still cool at night, but I love it because that's the mountains there for you. You still have 30s and 40s at night, but it's 60s and 70s during the day. Things are starting to bloom. The grass is starting to green up, depending on the elevation. Some of the trees are budding or have bloomed, and at the higher elevation, you're starting to see the buds on them. It's a nice time of the year. We enjoyed wintertime. We had snow. We had the holiday season. And now it's time to start enjoying the spring weather. It's been a decent mix of rain and sun to help promote that. So hopefully everybody is having a great start to the week and enjoying spring. We've got Living Like Larry here. Happy Mountain Man Monday, everyone. To you as well, Larry. Always nice to have you here. Rita, it is awesome to have you here. I just a little bit of a delay getting started. Usually what I do is I purposely fire it up to let it buffer while I'm still trying to finalize my Starlink internet network. I'm waiting on a part from Starlink that's on back order so I can complete it. But anyway, long story short, I usually start it up, let it buffer, and then get it going. But wonderful to have you here, Rita, and hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Same to you, Smoky Mountain Man. Wonderful avatar. Hello to you. Foxy is here. April is that taxing month. But nothing is more taxing than missing Mr. Mountain Man on a Monday night. Appreciate that, Foxy. Get the pose going there. And it's always great having you here. Glad to see you too, Rita. Yes. And anybody having a trip here to the mountains, and I think it was Smoky Mountain Man talking about that. I thought it was in early April, but I can't keep track of all that stuff. But how's everybody doing? Again, hope you're doing well. Glad to be on here this evening and seeing everyone. Like I said, the mountains are really starting to look pretty. Now, in about another month to month and a half, I really think ever since I've been in the mountains that May, and I've mentioned this before, but May is really, really a nice month. Nothing wrong with April. It's just everything's starting to bloom. In fact, if you were to look at the trees, there's still big portions, especially at the higher elevations, that look like it's still winter-esque. I mean, you're starting to see buds. Now, at the lower elevation, some of them, especially like the infamous dogwood Bradford pear type trees that I was reading about in the last Mountain Man Monday, those white blooms have fallen off or gone away, and now the green leaves are on it. Some of the trees look like they've already fully bloomed around 2,000 feet. So it's very nice to see the different, kind of levels cascading through the mountains of when things are blooming. So it's pretty nice. I did a lot of yard work this weekend, fertilizing, trimming, putting down some pine needle, just this time of the year, I always try to get the fertilizer down right before it rains. Not a super hard rain that's going to wash it away, but one that's going to help soak it in, whether that's the grass, the shrubs, or I try to get specific types of fertilizer like pine stakes for the pine. That seems to do really well, for whatever they're formulated for. So I use like those Job's plant spikes and just different types of fertilizer. Anyway, it usually pays dividends because come time again, May or June, things look really beautiful. And so it's a balance of learning though, because I'll say when I lived in Florida, you could fertilize to your heart's content and nothing would happen with the sandy soil. But here you can burn things out if you fertilize too much. It's actually more pertinent here to do like a soil sample and check rather than like down in Florida where you could just, fertilize every single month, go to Lowe's, Home Depot, buy a bag, put it down, and that St. Augustine grass would green up. But anyway, I enjoy some of that stuff. Obviously, I think it's nice after a little bit of cabin fever from the winter to get outside and stretch the legs and and do that. We've got Tommy Tom here. Hello, welcome. I hope you're doing well and having a great start to your week. Hope Faith is here, doing well. Hope you are doing well. Hope. And let's see if any prayers for me and family this week's mom's having surgery tomorrow morning. Absolutely, prayers for your mother. I hope things go well and a speedy recovery to her. And again, I hope you're doing well there, Hope. I don't think I missed anybody's comments. Yes, definitely prayers for Hope's mother. So what, yeah, has anybody else been getting out in the yard? I know it's different in different places. Like I saw the weather radar backed out looking at Minnesota or Michigan. I think in Michigan, northern Michigan was having snow 2 days ago. I'm not sure how much, but it was enough to, show up on the radar. So not everybody is out and about. I had been busy too. I got a little present from Santa Claus, which was these it's basically what you call engine dress up for the GT500. They're reservoirs that get replaced for the fluids. One for the supercharger coolant, one for the main coolant, one for the power steering. And the power steering one had some issues, and basically too much to go into. That's more of an eclectic Candyman type conversation, but it prevented me from getting over to the Ponies and the Smokies car show. I could have gone in the Cobra, but again, just kind of a long story, but it was unfortunate as I had been working on the car, which I had really no plans to work on the GT500. It's so young in its miles. These were very mild updates, just visual for basically for car shows or when you pop the hood. I've done them before. I did it on the Cobra, and just, that's Murphy's Law for you. So I wasn't able to make it to Ponies and the Smokies this year. I was supposed to meet a friend there, and it didn't happen, and that was unfortunate. So anyway, that was unfortunate because it turned out to be a beautiful weekend. I did get a report from that car show though, and I heard it was about 5 times as busy like last year. And that had to do two things with the pandemic and the day I went. If you watched the video over on Eclectic Candyman, it was kind of a gray day. It turned into a gray day. It was sunny in the morning and then it ended up raining. And that'll keep tons of people away from a car show if you've spent hours and hours detailing your car. But this year it was sunny. I heard it was 5 times as crowded. Like you could barely find parking outside of the convention center. So a bit of a treat, I guess, last year of what I got to see, and hopefully I'll make it next year, but I did not make it over there to Sevierville to see that. Oh, did you all go to downtown Disney? That's pretty cool. Oh, you must be talking about California though. See, downtown Disney, that's the name, or used to be the name of what Disney Springs is. It actually went Pleasure Island to downtown Disney and then to Disney Springs. But is it still called downtown Disney over there in California? You'll have to inform. I'm kind of eavesdropping on a conversation there. Absolutely, Hope Faith. I did it right after the other live stream. I'm not able to do it from here. This software does not let me modify anything with my channel. It's basically a means to an end to show these comments and such. It takes the trees in my yard a long time to bloom. They are hickory trees and they bloom late. I as much as I love the outdoors, I really am kind of bad by identifying trees. Like I saw a book over at one of the visitor centers in the Smokies about trees and the leaves. And I'm like, oh, this is great, but I opened it up and like, there were so many hundreds of pages. Like, I don't know, it wasn't enough because it was so low level. I don't know, like it was too much information. Like I still couldn't have discerned what type of leaves on what types of trees. I wish I could identify more. One time I had somebody at the house cutting the tree down and they were pointing out, I was like, oh, that's a cherry. That's a this is a that. And I can tell some, I can tell, like a maple variety. You can, I used to be able to tell oak. There were a lot of oaks in Florida, obviously palm trees. Those are easy, but hollies are pretty easy to identify. But when it starts to get to like birch, hickory, so, some of the other ones, some of the other hardwoods and some of the other types of trees, I'm kind of bad at it. So if anybody has any like recommendations because I find that interesting. If I could look at a leaf and try to figure out, and again, I would assume a book would be a good idea. What would be neat is if I could get a book about the trees that are native to this area of the country or this part of North Carolina to kind of pare down so you're not having to sift through trees that only grow in Oregon or something like that. I have no plans right now to go to the spring rod run. You know, you know, here, a little bit, I'm pausing there for a second. Um, I have some interesting thoughts that have been evolving over the last few years about Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Um, we go there and we love it for Dollywood. It's a very surgical drive there. Like we kind of come in the back, we get to Dollywood, and then we come back to North Carolina. The crowds in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg are the crowds in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg are getting you know but just like over the top. Gatlinburg is squeezed in the valley of two of the mountains there, and its capacity overrunneth, as they would say. It is super busy, and personally and subjectively, it can get annoyingly busy. Um, it's still fun. I like the attractions there, the aquarium, the chocolate, Ober-Gatlinburg. Love Ober-Gatlinburg. But the thing about Ober-Gatlinburg is you get away from downtown Gatlinburg. Some of the dining down there, like it's been a few years, but the Pancake Pantry and the Village is pretty nice. Village is kind of a gym, I think, in Gatlinburg. But the crowds overall are kind of not fun. And I'm starting to have this opinion that I think the nostalgia of Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge is 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 greater and a bigger deal to me than actually being there sometimes. And it's funny, there was just a comment about Disney. Disney used to be for a period the same way. We had annual passes. We were able to go as much as we wanted when we lived in Florida because of our proximity to the parks. It started to get to the point where because we could go all the time, things did start to get annoying. The crowds were getting ridiculous. This was pre-pandemic. And like, so if you watch the fireworks at the Magic Kingdom on Saturday and left, I should dig up some pictures. Like I've never seen that many people in a place ever, like just walking down Main Street, a grid of people 100 feet wide. I don't know, whatever, 200 feet wide, whatever the width of Main Street is, just wall to wall people. And then that would equate to the lines to get on the monorail or the ferry or whatever. And, in my exploration, one of the things I liked originally about Gatlinburg and the Smoky Mountains, at least in Tennessee and such, was, the mountains and the scenery and kind of the shopping and stuff. But, I think about places like Cades Cove and the line, the last time we went there, the motorist line, is just, ridiculously long. And you're sitting there sniffing up the exhaust in the car in front of you out in the middle of a pasture or a valley. So I think what I'm saying, I've become more fond of the in between or the off the beaten path, so to say, places, basically more Western North Carolina. We still love Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. The kids love it. There's so many places to eat. I think honestly, we're in Pigeon Forge probably 5-1 these days compared to Gatlinburg, because again, Gatlinburg is so overly packed. The last time I had a really, really enjoyable time in Gatlinburg was pre-pandemic on Super Bowl Sunday. I've talked about it a lot. Everybody was at home watching the Super Bowl. I went with the kids, and it was a fantastic time. Nobody was there, and it was like a VIP pass. One of my other gripes about Gatlinburg, in comparison to a lot of the other mountain towns that I've been to. So if you take three different categories: shopping, dining, and entertainment. Now, I think that Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg reigns supreme when it comes to entertainment, but it doesn't mean that those don't exist in other mountain towns. But when it comes to shopping and dining, I think honestly, a lot of what's over there is subpar. And honestly, Gatlinburg is kind of getting a little dirty. Like you walk down there and you see these t-shirt shops with controversial shirts, and like a lot of just kind of like tchotchke type junky souvenirs. Nothing really like homemade local. You got to go to the Arts and Crafts Village. Arts and Crafts Village at Gatlinburg is A plus. That is super awesome. They have a lot more unique artifacts and shopping. That is a great. Of course, you can't walk it. It's more of driving. But the Gatlinburg Arts and Trails Craft or Arts Trail or whatever they call it, that is wonderful. But downtown Gatlinburg, it's like kind of just cheesy t-shirts and junky items, and there's not a ton of eating. If you're really, really hungry, the places are packed. If there's only 2 people, it's not bad. But if you have like a family and you're really hungry, it's kind of hard to find a place to eat. Parking's hard to find. It's wall-to-wall people. So it's just I don't know. It's just I've lost a little bit of interest over there. I think there's so much more interesting and neat places on par, but are under the radar versus that. So again, I think the nostalgia effect of going over there sometimes is greater than the actual presence of being there. But again, still love Gatlinburg. I still get the Ripley's passes. So I think there's a lot of great things there. I just don't think it's the end all, like it's hyped up to be a lot. So I enjoy exploring and see other places, whether that's Maggie Valley, Cherokee, Asheville, Chimney Rock, Bryson City, Mars Hill, Mount Mitchell, Little Switzerland, Blowing Rock, Boone, or the small towns in East Tennessee, or even Bristol, or, like all these other places that have, in a lot of those towns that you go to, you will find like locally made goods. So if you want to get a nice souvenir made here, not some screen print t-shirt or spray, or what do they call it? The, I'm drawing a blank. Where the artists spray paint the t-shirts and stuff like that, that kind of stuff, like, locally made, like, it could be earrings or mugs or books, or maybe the book's not locally made, but it's about the local area or the history, unique, could be microbreweries or local restaurants. There's just so many places to explore. So I really, it's interesting how things have kind of evolved, and we've talked a lot too, that kind of initial stretch out of Gatlinburg into the Smoky Mountains, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, is so over visited. If you're a first timer, it's okay, but once you're a seasoned tourist or even patron of the mountain community, the trash and the extra cars and the massive amounts of people, they're just a lot of more interesting places to go, including inside the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, just not to Linville Falls or, the high well-known places. I still do enjoy Metcalf Bottoms and would like to get back there this year, although that was another place that suffered from kind of over visitation. The bathrooms I've talked about numerous times. It was, awful, disgusting. And, but the beautiful park with the river there. I mean, one of the things that's just amazing over in that area is the river combined with the mountains, combined with the scenery. So yeah, it's just, kind of been evolving opinion. So it makes it actually exciting to visit other places than, kind of the same, but we still enjoy it as a family. It's still exciting to say, hey, we're going over to, we just say Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge kind of as like a package. But I think Dollywood is our mainstay these days, kind of coming in from the, from the east, kind of back through Bush's Baked Beans, and that way coming in the back, you don't have to go through Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge, and we enjoy a nice day. Dollywood as a park, I've mentioned, is underrated as far as nationally as a theme park. I think at the visitor level, I think at the theme park enthusiast level, most people understand, and it hits a lot of top 10 lists, but it's an incredibly great park that we have here. So anyway, I'll catch up on the comments here, but kind of kind of some thoughts that have been evolving over time. And I had talked to my wife about that too. It was funny because we had some friends back in Florida that had that opinion before we did. We always had stars in our eyes about going to Gatlinburg, but some other people kind of had that same sentiment. It took me more time to be able to see it, but now I walk around and again, I see shirts that I don't necessarily want my kids looking at in the window. And, there's a bunch, it's just, I don't know. And it's funny because it's not even what I would call like great nightlife or adult life. Like, I mean, there's the what do they call it? The moonshine places and the CBD places and and all that stuff. But I wouldn't even call that like tremendous nightlife. There's no like, evening clubs or bars or anything, like if they really wanted to get into that. It's just daytime stuff that's really not, necessarily kid type stuff. But anyway, and I'm not against any of that. I mean, I really enjoy Las Vegas. I have no problem. There's a place and a time for everything. So, I like different places and different things, but yeah, I'm just excited about seeing some new and other places. And tell me what you think. What do you all think? So anyway, that was in reference to this. I don't have a high. One of the things I like about Ponies in the Smokies is the Sevierville Convention Center, way north of town. You can come in off I-40. You don't have to mess with all that traffic and stuff. But let me know what you all think about the stuff that I said. We got the Indy race here this weekend, Long Beach Grand Prix. That is super cool. I remember back in the 80s, that was a big thing. Like a lot of big cities would take their downtown, I think like Miami and Chicago, and turn it into a race in the streets. That's really awesome. Yes, it's still downtown Disney in California. Okay, great. And you're working on a video, Disney City. That's all right. Just overdub it with a title that has the right name on it. Dr. J, how are you doing? Welcome to LiveStream. Great to have you here. Hope you are having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. I am the product of a tree, a nut. Another one, Foxy, you got 2 tonight. That is awesome. I like it. I like it. I like it. I may have to go soon. Just want to say hi and see how everybody's doing. I can stay. You stay as long as you want or short, whatever makes you comfortable and happy. And glad to have you here. JQ, hey, Mr. Mountain, everyone can't stay a few minutes. Pop in and say, hey, glad to have you here. Absolutely. Rita says, I know it because of all the nuts all over the ground. As far as the I think it was the walnut tree, right? Or the hickory tree, pardon me. Yes. And that's use Google Lens to identify. So if I take Google Lens and take a picture of the leaf, it will tell me the type of leaf. Please verify that for me. If that's true, I may start to do that. I think that's pretty cool. We usually try to miss the crowds. Yeah. I think you've mentioned that before. And especially being more local, you probably know the ins and outs. It's a few of the areas that I've lived in my life have been high touristy type areas. And we kind of get that insider knowledge on when is better time versus not. One of the things that's always been challenging for us as a family is pretty typical. We would end up on the weekend somewhere Saturday along with the rest of the world. And we'd always end up having a lot, having to meet with the crowds. Okay, a few rough days. It's either family things or medical stuff. Again, hope you are on the up and up as well as your mother after tomorrow. Cedar Point has gotten really bad lately too, a product of their $99 season passes. So I'll just say, hey, Mom, hope you guys are doing well. Tell Dad I said hello and I love you both. Glad to have you here and hope you're having a great start to your week. A nice Monday. Always nice to have you here. This was a problem way 2 decades ago that my wife and I, when we were first married, our young selves recognized even at Carowinds, which is now in the same under the same umbrella as Cedar Point. Back then it wasn't. It was a Paramount Park. The season passes were so incredibly affordable, which for us at the time was yay, because we didn't have hardly 2 nickels to rub together. But it did attract a lot of people that I don't think were necessarily interested in the park. They just wanted a place to loiter, especially like the younger crowd. And so you got a lot of people that weren't really, I don't even want to use the word enthusiast. You don't need to be a park enthusiast to be at a theme park, but enjoy it, like ride the rides and, be nice. But there were just people hanging out in droves bad manners and just, kind of just, I don't know. It just was, that's the thing, Disney, and they're not shy about it. They barely beat around the bush about it. They basically price it and they continually raise price as a crowd control mechanism, uh, the Disney parks. And it's not necessarily that when they raise the ticket prices $20 to $50, you're getting $20 to $50 better park experience when you go there. They do it because they have a commodity. The parks are a commodity, and they actually do have a capacity. I don't know if everybody knows that, but at Walt Disney World, they can actually be at, they'll tell you on certain days they're at park capacity, and then they start going through tiers about who's allowed in the park. It would be people who stay on the resort loop, and then people who have a Walt Disney World reservation hotel on park, and then people who have, prepaid passes, then annual passes, and then they cut it off with the people who show up at the park trying to buy tickets. So yeah, the theme parks are very popular in the summer, and when they do lower it, I think there are people, I would just say, that are not necessarily interested in being at the park. That's just a place to kind of hang out, and so the crowds get really, really bad. And I hope that's really sad news there, and sorry to hear that about your friends and your family members, especially in such a short period of time. I'm really sorry to hear about that there for you. Again, prayers for you and for your family. Agreed about Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. Asheville is a place to go for awesome mountain. I'm assuming that meant mountains. Yeah. And it's not even that it's, I mean, of course I live in this area and love it. But it's, I wouldn't even say it's like a age thing or anything like that. I'm not opposed to being in the crowds if they're for the right deal. I mean, I'll be at a Steelers game. I'll go to a NASCAR race, an NHRA race, the beach. I mean, if it's, a concert, if it's a bunch of people having fun, it's great. That's great. But if it's like, if something is overhyped, I think Gatlinburg is starting to teeter on the overhyped a little bit. It's the fun we have when we leave is not quite, I think, what, again, the nostalgia about it is. Yeah, there's a little more elbow room here to Mountain View, shopping and eating. I think it would pay to have a place like Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg about 100 miles or so from the Smokies, spread out the crowd. Yeah. So we always talk, this is a great idea about Maggie Valley, could it ever be like, another entertainment mecca a little bit east? I don't see it happening. They always talk about it. We talk about it. I read just about every story about it, but on paper, or at least, conceptually, this is exactly a great idea to be able to spread some of that out. Gatlinburg has always seemed kind of dirty to me. I think it always did. I wanted to talk about this for a little while, and I actually looked for a article today on it, because I'm like, am I the only one who has this opinion? And I looked it up, and I found some blog posts and some TripAdvisor reviews and such, but there was a similar sentiment. And again, I have a lot of fond memories of Gatlinburg, and we still enjoy it. And if I took the family there now, everybody would, enjoy walking up and down. But I also think it's really good for people who've never been there before. Like anybody who's never been there and wants to go, absolutely. And you go there a few times, but like to be like, the only place to go if somebody's going to do an annual mountain trip, I think that, but to each his own. Everybody can do what they want to do. Me personally, I think, again, it's getting a little bit overrated. Mr. Mountainman's getting the word out on Western North Carolina. Yeah, I do sometimes. Airbrush, thank you. I don't know why. That's exactly what I was thinking of, and I have no idea why it slipped my mind. Greene County in East Tennessee has some amazing artists and crafts. Yeah, and haven't you covered that, Dr. J? And you've also covered some of the, like Greenville, Tennessee. I thought you went to a cool restaurant there, and some other places. This is the real exploration and mountain stuff. I'll tell you what, hands down, I think you can find more places than you can count mountain cities in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and maybe even northern Georgia and northern South Carolina, where the mountains stretch into, that have better shopping and dining. Entertainment is hard to come by. If you just want all out go-karts and dinner shows and theme parks, nobody's going to touch Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. It's just the truth. I get it. But dining and shopping, I think you could Gatlinburg and would be way, way down the list. Pigeon Forge has a lot of dining, a lot of chain restaurants. But we honestly end up eating at Golden Corral most of the time. I mean, does that show you, like, I mean, you know, where we end up eating? But because there's some of these places, just the lines are ridiculous. I wish they had something more than tacky stores in Gatlinburg, just tourist traps for people who like to buy junk. I don't care for Gatlinburg. Yeah, and that's what I'm starting to find. Like, and I plan on making some videos here on some mountain towns to show you some of the more, you know, unique and just, that's the only word I need, is really the unique nature and the from that area type of arts and crafts and things like that. Some of these just in my neck of the woods, and that are really, really cool places. JQ, you would enjoy Myrtle Beach if you like Western North Carolina, Tennessee. It has the same feeling as Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, Asheville. Yeah, I've always thought that one of the reasons we do enjoy Myrtle Beach as a family is it has the flair of Pigeon Forge, not Gatlinburg to me as much, but Pigeon Forge over at the beach. So you get the beach and you get all the shows, or if you want, and you get dining. Although Pigeon Forge is only, you know, 5 or 6 miles long, and then you get up into Sevierville. Myrtle Beach is 40 miles long. I mean, from North Myrtle Beach all the way down to like Murrells Inlet. I mean, so there's something you don't like about the Myrtle Beach area, you can find a pocket and hide and just go to places you want. And they have fine dining all the way down to hot dogs, you know, so whatever you want. So I still enjoy Myrtle Beach, but I also recognize that Myrtle Beach is not is also a little bit of a, you know, can be a little bit of a circus too. It's just more spread out, so it's not quite as bad. And they have done such a good job since I was a kid with the traffic patterns and the additional parallel highways in Myrtle, that the traffic is not what it wants to be. It used to be that Kings Highway and 17 and then the Beach Avenue were just jam-packed, but there's so many parallel highways and bypasses. It's really, really not bad there anymore. Ted and Deborah Harrison, how you doing? Greeting Mr. Moutmans and everyone in the chat. Did they get all the fires out? So this is another topic. I didn't put anything in the news and notes on this one tonight, but there were, I'm sure most people know, but if you're from out of town, there were a significant number of fires over in Wears Valley, Tennessee. And that is, if you look at a map, if you look at Pigeon Forge and went due east, I'm sorry, pardon me, due west, almost directly west is that area. They have some interactive maps. I believe it started at about 10,000 acres. They had difficulty getting it under control at first. The article I checked from yesterday, which was the last one I found, was over 90%, 95% contained, and people are being able to return to their homes. It's really good. You don't need a 2017 or 2017 Gatlinburg type situation happening again. What is really troublesome for the mountain area, for those of you that aren't from here, and we experienced it this weekend, is we can go through spells, dry spells, and we get some almost hurricane force winds. I mean, you know, 40, 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds. And they can start by nature or they can start by human. And it seems like it's mostly human. You know, somebody drops a cigarette or is burning when there's a burn ban, and those winds kick up and those embers start flying. It's just a recipe for disaster. They're very, very strict about burning and things that are happening. In fact, when I looked this up, there are now some fires in Maggie Valley. I don't believe they're related, but again, the wind has been a big problem. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow in the next few days, which I think is really needed for the area. So, you know, thoughts and prayers to anybody that was impacted by that. over there in East Tennessee. Again, it started here in Western North Carolina over in Maggie Valley. I believe they've got something like 14 crews and a helicopter. I saw that article today when I was looking for articles. So hopefully they do have that under control. And last I read, it is getting more and more under control. Arts and craft community has always forgotten about Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area. I've done it twice, and it is a true gem. First of all, that picture right there is from the entrance to the arts and crafts community. My sister Ditdot was just talking about how she got some cherry, like jelly or something like that at one of the stores, kind of right near the entrance where the English restaurant is. I can't remember the name of the place. Some of you may have been to it. If you want real local community souvenirs, you don't spend any money in downtown Gatlinburg. Go over to the Arts and Crafts Trail. It's not as cool because you can't walk it, but you can stop at all these buildings. Like one of my kids got a homemade candle at one of the places where you get to pour the wax, and you got to do it and got like a little horse and some other things. And so definitely recommend that community for sure. And Ted Deborah Harrison, I did say hello, right? I'm talking a mile a minute. Well, howdy. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. I think I already did. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure. Hope says they are out. Okay, Rita, so glad the under in Weir's Valley. Yes, was terrible. Agree. Hurry not to get back. Gatlinburg, too busy. Time to check out North Carolina. Yeah. And so many places. Western North Carolina is vast. But even as Dr. J said, East Tennessee is great. It's just talking about two cities here. But when you look at and you know what? Honestly, Virginia and Northern Georgia and Northern South Carolina, there's so much to explore in this area of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It's honestly, you could never run out of places to go. It's really, really cool. The race is making my commute to work sucky. They hit the run. Pardon me. They run it a couple of blocks from my place. And the roads keep closing for fencing and such. Yeah. I think that's probably kind of rough. Oh my goodness. I'm 16 minutes behind. Rapid Google Lens. Thank you. Mr. Carlos got here a little while ago. Didn't want to interrupt until now. Hey, Mr. Mountain, glad to have you here, Mr. Carlos, and hope you are having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Different objects. Thank you for that advice. I am going to try that this week. How's Ditdot this week? She's getting super excited about moving. Moving here. She is very excited about that. 99's too cheap for the passes. Yes. It does crowd the park. Yes. Thumbs up, please. I appreciate it. Thank you. Tommy, passes 129, dropped them. Everybody bought them. You can't even get parking. That's tough. I see where the governor's trying to take away the Disney self-government powers in Florida, trying to forever change Disney World. I haven't. So if anybody enjoys Disney World, by the way, I'll plug it for them. It's called the Diz or the Diz Unplugged. I do enjoy some of their stuff. There's a lot of people that get into the Disney news and stuff. They're pretty good. Under 10 likes and 18 in the chat. I appreciate that. Thank you, Hope. I do appreciate the support. Last two times I went to Gatlinburg, the shows and most of the museums were blocked solid. Couldn't go to any. Yes. And again, I was talking about the dining, like if we were walking around downtown Gatlinburg, like there's nowhere, there's one place, and we actually do like it. It's Cece's Pizza, and it's all the way at the end. We do enjoy Cece's. But that's not like really like, anything specific to the mountains or Gatlinburg. And there are chains there too. There's like Jose, the Mexican restaurant. I think that's a chain, isn't it? And what's really unique in downtown Gatlinburg. I have been to the Trout House before. That was pretty cool. It's expensive, but it's good. We did that on one of our anniversary trips with the family. There's a couple other good places, but normally it's like go to Gatlinburg, walk around, see what's going on, take some pictures, get back in the car, drive to Pigeon Forge and eat. That's usually the recipe we follow. Got to go to Myrtle. Haven't been since you were 10. You do. I think you guys would enjoy Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is a lot of fun. I mean, if you've watched my videos, which are an appetizer sampling of Myrtle Beach There's something for everyone there, and you won't even touch the tip of the iceberg with all the stuff going on over there. We always like going to Gatlinburg Convention Center for the craft shows. That's about it. Okay, yeah. And that, that convention center, here's an insider tip. If you want to know if Gatlinburg is going to be packed or not, find out what's going on at that convention center. Like we used to go at Christmas and or right after Christmas, like around the 28th, and there'd be a huge convention in town and droves of people. So like you went in anywhere, forget about it. I mean, the lines were just ridiculously long. Yes, the fire in Maggie Valley, close to houses. I think I'm a little bit behind. Myrtle Beach is South Carolina. It is really cool. I have 2 videos on my channel about Myrtle Beach, if anybody hasn't seen it. I did see the trolls here, and I hope one of the folks here, yeah, the trolls have arrived, and Foxy got them, or Larry got them. Yes, West Virginia. Somebody was on here recently, I think, unless I'm making this up in my mind, that was from West Virginia, and I was telling them what an incredibly beautiful state. The old motto, and I don't know if it still is wild, wonderful West Virginia. We went to a few places growing up, like Pipestem State Park Resort. I've driven through it a bunch of times on I-77 through the Turnpike, right through the mountains. There are ski resorts. West Virginia is a beautiful area. I think somebody could run away with a travel YouTube channel there. It is absolutely an underrated place. Now, as far as mountain towns and places to go, I'm not that well versed in it, I would have to believe. But even if it's not that style of travel, there's whitewater rafting they're known for. There's mountains and skiing, like I mentioned. There's resorts and state parks. So West Virginia is a great place. I don't know if anybody's from here, but yeah. It was one of our plans for this year is explore more than just Dollywood and Gatlinburg. Nothing wrong with them, but so much more here. There certainly is. Did I really catch up or did I skip some? I think I did catch up. You do like the buffets. I love the buffets. Nothing wrong with the buffets. Here's the deal with the buffets. When you have a family with kids and they order off the menu and it's $8.99 or $12.99 for, yes, like a kid's meal, or $7.99, and then the drink is a la carte, and then they, we've been to some restaurants where the kids, they'll come out and they'll get like chicken fingers and fries, right? It totally depends on the restaurant. It's all over the map. And there'll be like 3 little tiny chicken nuggets almost and the little tiny fries, and it'll be like $10. And I'm like, what do you, like, the kids are still hungry. Then you have to either get an appetizer or dessert. Anyway, just get the cost go through the roof. Go to a buffet. You go to a buffet and you can get salad and sides and main. And I'm telling you, if you're disciplined, you can eat not too badly. I still admittingly will eat more of a portion than I should. I'm not lying. But here's what I do. Like, went to Golden Corral yesterday. Had salad first. It had spinach, romaine, onions, black olives, carrots, broccoli, and then here's the 3 bad things. Caesar style cheese, the cheese that goes on a Caesar salad, bacon bits, and blue cheese. Those are not good. So I had the salad. Then I went up to the buffet and got a huge plate of just broccoli, which they don't put any salt or seasoning. It's steamed and what some would say is boring. I think I got a little green beans and some carrots. Huge plate to fill as a base and also get that fiber going. Then I went and got 1 plate of main. I got pulled pork, couple pieces of catfish, was fried, a piece of pizza. Yep, I did. And some carrots on that plate. I usually like shrimp, but they usually have the different flavored shrimp. But yesterday they just had popcorn shrimp, and I wasn't digging that. And then I went and got dessert, and I got like a couple or a few pieces of cake. So I ate too much, but I've gotten much better over the years because I used to get like 3 plates of main, and now I do try to balance it. So there's no beating around the bush. it's a treat. It is certainly a treat, but to try to eat like that at a regular restaurant, especially with the lifting the weights and stuff, I tend to have somewhat of a ferocious appetite. And so yeah, anyway, I do like the buffets. Yes, I love the buffets. You went to Myrtle Beach when you got married. That's awesome. Where did you go? Did you is the hotel or whatever that you went to still there? I know they have, they have a lot of churn and they'll demolish old ones and build new ones and stuff like that. BBBB is from West Virginia. Okay. I don't think there's much tourist stuff in West Virginia, but beautiful. Yeah, it's not a mecca. Like I talked about Pipestem, which was a cool resort. I have no idea the status now. I've mentioned skiing a couple times. But yeah, like I don't think like going to Huntington or Charleston are necessarily like go-to tourist spots. But if somebody's here knows about it, like let us know. You done your share of buffets as well. Yeah. Hey, Pamela. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. What is a good exercise to strengthen your arms and shoulders? Mine feel like they're getting weak. Yeah. So, first of all, if you ever start an exercise program, you always want to go incredibly light to nothing. Depending on, and most people say, see a physician first or, because people that can be very dangerous starting exercise. Some people who haven't, I haven't exercised in 5 years and then all of a sudden go out and push it and get hurt. But in general speaking, the shoulder muscles here, so you've got the front, middle, and rear deltoids. And then for your arms, you've got your biceps and your triceps. And yes, all of these are important for everyday type stuff. Like when I lift groceries out of the car, that's your shoulders. Or if you're lifting them, like this, your biceps, or if you're picking up a bag of mulch or moving a box across the house, any kind of, and a lot of people they'll use bands. They're like huge rubber bands. So you can like stand on them and step on it. And then you can do all sorts of exercise. You can do for your biceps. Triceps is a little bit different. Sometimes you take, depending on the strength, like a 1 pound or a 5 pound weight, 3 pounds, depending, and you can do a behind the head. See, that's going to work your triceps right here. Now, when I'm at the gym, I use cables, cable down, or if I'm doing bench press, that'll work on the triceps. They've got a machine that, goes forward that does triceps. I used to do something called skull crushers where you'd lay down and do triceps on it. Shoulders, there's a lot of stuff, anything that's overhead. So if you've got weights, like small weights, or I don't know if they make a band big enough for this, but any kind of overhead press is going to get your entire shoulder. Any kind of side lateral movement. So I'll do those. That gets the side. Now the back is a little more difficult. The rear deltoid, you could do a sitting extension. It's kind of hard to show you here, where you can work back. A lot of times they have machines that can split back. Or if you can get 2 cables and pull down. Joining a gym is not a bad thing. There are very affordable places. It just depends on where you live. I don't go there, but like Planet Fitness is known to be one of the cheapest places because I think it's only about $10 a month. And the nice thing about those places is you can go in and put on 5 pounds or 10 pounds or 15 and start or with nothing. Just get used to the weights. And I'll say one more thing. Some of these places, if you pay one time, you don't need to do it a lot. Pay the $25 or whatever one time for a fitness consultation or something like that. They won't pull you in for a lifetime of doing that, just to get some ideas. Or watch YouTube. YouTube is tremendous. If you say, any muscle group, and you don't put in the word bodybuilding, but like tricep workout or bicep workout, or say, light bicep workout or light arm workout. You can get all kinds of ideas. Sometimes you don't have to buy a thing. There's stuff around the house. So anyway, I can go on and on. I really enjoy questions like that. I know this is not a fitness channel, but I'm still very much into the fitness stuff. Everyone needs to try Christian tours if you like to travel and don't like to drive or different places. Yeah, going by bus or it's something I haven't done, but I think that's a great idea for somebody who's like, you know what? I don't want to drive. I don't want to pick out the places to stop to eat. I want a package, I think that is an excellent recommendation. We typically never eat a buffet. It's because it causes me way to overeat. I feel like I've got my money. I have to feel like I got my money's worth. Thankfully, it took me a long time. Thankfully, I have gotten over that. I know the minute I walk in and I have a salad, a main, and a slice of cake, I've already gotten my $15 worth. It's more the enjoyment factor, but it is a thing of discipline. Like, you know, I'm sitting here talking about the gym on one end and then the buffets on the other. Listen, it's totally, it's a balance thing. I've talked about it before. You know, usually my breakfast is steel cut oatmeal with flaxseed. Lunch is rice, broccoli, and chicken. And dinner is whatever my wife is making. And then on the weekends, we'll go out to eat once or twice. And then on those occasions, you know, try not to be overly gluttonous, you know, but I do enjoy it. There's no beating around the bush. If you like to hike, we found a great place just over the border in Tennessee off I-26, Lamar Alexander State Park, really easy trails. Great suggestion. Of course, we go up that way all the time near there to snow sled and go down the mountains and such like that. So I think that's really, really cool. That was like 25 years ago. Thank you for the recommendation, by the way, Mr. Carlos, and everybody take note of that. Lamar Alexander State Park. That was like 25 years ago. Went to Myrtle Beach for 3 days, stayed on the beach, and then went to Gatlinburg for another 3 days. Yeah. Here's another thing. When I was growing up, a place we went to a lot, there was a resort still there. It's called the Beach Colony. So nice when we were going and growing up. Now it's like horribly rated on TripAdvisor. People talking about cockroaches in the hall. Of course, it's you know, outside. You can't deny the palmetto bugs or whatever, but you know what I mean to an extent. I mean, it's not like shouldn't be commonplace. Like every time you go outside, like, you know, stains on the sheets and gross rooms and stuff like that. And that's just a case of some place, unfortunately, going downhill and management, you know, not caring or whatever. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know if the place you went to, you know, something like that, or if it's still very nice. I got some bands. I will try those. I also have some lightweights. A+. Yes, that is a great thing to do. And make sure you start off very light. There's nothing. Here's the deal. I know I don't personally know, but I've so many people I've casually interacted with at the gym will see me do bench press, and my bench press for my size is not bad. I mean, anybody else can be the judge, but like I can flat bench 315 7 or 8 times. And you know, whether you know those numbers or not, it's pretty decent. So a lot of people come up to me like, oh wow, I wish I could bench at once, or that's pretty neat. But I also, in that same spirit, I'll talk to a lot of people. Oh, I used to be able to do that in bench, but my shoulder's all messed up and I can't bench anymore. I haven't done it in 10 years. This is more of the bodybuilding industry, but basically if you end up getting hurt, no matter what walk of life and fitness, from a novice to an expert, it stinks. I have gotten injured before, mild injuries, and they take a long time to heal. They're not fun. And so getting injured stinks. So when people are always pushing, like start off easy if you're getting back into working out, the reason is to not get hurt, because I get hurt and it's not a lot of fun. I noticed the other day that you have like 100,000 views on the Grout tile floor video. That's impressive. Yeah, you know what? It's funny. When I first started my YouTube channels, I would look a lot more like a hawk, and then I'll go through spells where I completely forget. There is a video on my other channel about how to seal a Grout tile floor, and it indeed does. I did notice has over or almost, or I don't know, like 100,000 views. For a channel my size, you know, for other people that might be no big deal, but you know, one of the things about YouTube, we were talking about it just a minute ago about the fitness, like if you want to figure it out, like, you know, just how to do a light arm workout. Well, I know personally when I'm working on the cars too, I mean, you get in a pinch, first thing I'm doing, I'm on YouTube. How do I fix this such and such on the car? You know, it is a go-to for how to. And so those videos are extremely popular. And I told you before, I had a very popular one that I took down, which was how to fix a squeaky floor. I got information directly from a contractor on how to do it, to follow the joist and nail down extra, or actually screw it down the base subfloor. But people start getting on there calling me an idiot, saying, what if you screw into electrical or plumbing? This could be super dangerous. I didn't have enough of a rebuttal to say, because you're supposed to follow the joist, which is wood on wood. You're not guessing and just putting a screw anywhere. But I decided, and being conservative, to go ahead and pull that video. But that video was getting a massive amount of views out of the gate, just because of its generic nature of how to fix a squeaky floor. So that was kind of cool. We used Planet Fitness till COVID hit. Bad timing. Yeah, it's just a good place that they don't have a contract. So if you want to try out a gym and see what the equipment's like, and then if you don't like it, you can quit. I didn't think about YouTube for exercise. Yeah, I mean, I subscribe to a ton of channels, bodybuilders and stuff. Like, I like Jay Cutler. He's next Mr. Olympian. He's pretty cool. I used to like this guy called Callum Von Moger. He kind of looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but unfortunately he got, I don't know, something happened to him. He got a little bit out of it, and has had some personal issues, and kind of faded away off of YouTube. Brian Shaw, World's Strongest Man, Eddie the Beast Hall. Those guys don't really teach me anything. They're so big, but they're kind of interesting to watch. But anyway, those guys are like pro bodybuilders. I mean, there's people everyday walk of life, for everything. My last trip from here, I want to take a train. Get that experience of riding rails across country. My wife thinks that's crazy. All right, so the deal with the train, I'm no expert. There are some great YouTube channels about train and Amtrak, by the way. If you want to get into something just for a little while, look up Amtrak videos. There are people that will tell you every inside and out, and Greyhound too. For a while, I was watching some of those. I wasn't planning on going on the Greyhound, but I just found them interesting. But the trains, the way they used to be, is they run a line like from New York to Miami, and when they leave the station, they're super clean and nice. But by the time they get to near the other end, the bathrooms are getting raunchy, and the place is getting kind of dirty and stinky. But you're not paying a lot of money. But now that was on more like a commuter train. I didn't have a sleeper car. I think if I was going to do that, I would definitely pay for the sleeper car. And I watched an Amtrak video about all the different sizes they have. And if you go like to the biggest room or something like that, it's quite affordable from what I would think something like that would cost when I start comparing it to like airline tickets and whatnot. Yes. Bugs around the water. That's right. Myrtle Beach. Palmetto bugs. Save on gas. That's right. Oh, that's good. Speaking of working out, they finally opened Muscle Beach back up. That's super cool. Did you do a video on that? Let me know. That's pretty cool. I get injured getting out of bed in the morning anymore. I remember there was a period, I don't know if I got hurt. Like every day I'd wake up and my knee would like pop. It'd be like, but it doesn't do that anymore. How about the Smokies? Hey, he says, how are you doing? Glad to have you here. Hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. Anybody want to watch everything going on in the Smokies? Check out All About the Smokies. Just a whole heap load of videos going on over there. If you are looking for something to do. Beating out your little Switzerland video. Oh, right. Because I think that one probably is the most popular over here. Love to get back over there someday. We're thinking about adopting just so I can put up a baby gate. I love that, because that is truly the eclectic Candyman. GT 500, doing this, poison the smokings. Oh yeah, here's a baby gate. It's like, so it's definitely very eclectic. Looking forward to your videos whenever you get a chance to putting out new ones. They're always good. Yes. And I have an update about that today. I should get to that. And they get massive views. Yes, the how-tos. Great chatting with you all night. Got to head out. Keep safe, y'all. Thank you, Dr. J. I've done the Greyhound from Morgan to Ohio. It wasn't fun over Thanksgiving. I'm going to do a video of it. I showed it when I was closed up. Oh, cool. My niece took an Amtrak Fort Lauderdale, New York. It was almost $600. Took 2 days. She could have flown for $89. So we took the Amtrak from South Carolina to Miami for a cruise in 2003, I think it was. And it was about $65 a person at that time. We did not have a sleeper car. It was probably the same line. It used to be called the Silver Line. That was the one that went from New York to Miami. That seems a lot on the high side, but I'm assuming she got a sleeper car or something like that. You'll have to let us know. All right, let's get into channel updates for let's fix that. Let's fix that. Let's fix it. That is channel updates for as I look at my watch, 04/22. Channel updates for the week of April the 4th, 2022. Instagram at Mr. Mountain _man. I don't really have any great pictures to share this week. I looked at it and I was super boring. I have 2 pictures from the grill, grilling the same thing 2 weeks in a row. If you want to check out that Mr. Mountain _man, I do have that. And I mentioned a few times my other channel, which is the Eclectic Candyman. Don't I have a banner for that? I guess not. It's called the Eclectic Candyman. So if you want to check it out, check it out. Okay, let me just check on these last couple of comments. Oh, she had a sleeper on it. Okay. Hey, Kentucky girl, you are not late. You are not late at all. Glad to have you here. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Nice money and good to have you back. I know we've been, there's been different timing of it, so you haven't been able to join in a while. It's 4 days from Las Vegas to Sandusky. Not that badly priced. Amtrak's running special, $3.99 unlimited trips for a month. Oh, wow. That's a pretty good deal if you're going to do it more than once. Also, the Amtrak YouTube station that I watched or channel said their pricing is so inconsistent, even compared to the airlines, that every single day pricing on trips will fluctuate. I don't know how their algorithms do that, but they do. So, yeah. All right. All right. So I have a mildly serious update here that I'm not looking forward to announcing. And no, this is not an April Fool's joke. So if I could have your all attention, I've been reflecting on the amount of time that I spend on everything in life and the stage that I am at in life. And I need to make some updates to the channel. So a little history here. When I started the Mr. Mountain Man YouTube channel, it's no secret I followed a template that was very familiar in the travel community like a weekly live stream and canned videos and such. And I took my weekly live stream and turned it more into a show style format. And I have really, really enjoyed doing this. And it's been amazing to interact with you all on a weekly basis and to do this and to have the news stories and things like that. But one of the things is I kind of just hitched onto that train of that format. That's why I was giving the history of like, you're a travel, channel, make videos and do live streams and do this. And so I kind of hitched my, onto that wagon and I just kept going. But one of the things that's very different from me, and I can't see every channel. There's a gazillion channels out there. But one thing I see consistently with people who run channels of this flavor, they are at a different stage in their life. Maybe this is their full-time activity. Maybe it's not, and they still full-time work, but their family situation with the number of kids they have is less than what I have. Maybe work a different, less demanding, more demanding, who knows? It doesn't matter about the comparison. But Mount Man Monday, on average is about a 3+ hour commitment a week. It's about 60 to 90 minutes for the show and double that for the meta information and the show notes and and the articles and things that I get. And so you're talking about 12-ish hours a month. And I run 2 YouTube channels now. That kind of evolved over time. Eclectic Candyman originally was a dumping ground for very raw videos, but as I got more into it, truth be told, I enjoyed it. There's a lot of my interest and hobby that lie in what I do over on the other channel. And so I run 2 YouTube channels. Not a lot of people do that. I run 2 YouTube channels, have a full-time job, a young family, a house, and a lot going on. And right now, the priority is, work and family first. And so I have this facade of doing this channel and such. But the reality is I don't have the bandwidth. It's not, it is turned into something that I very, very much enjoy. And it is so enjoyable being with you all on Mondays. But unfortunately, and this is serious, it's not a joke. After episode 110, we're going to call it a wrap on Mountain Man Monday. I need to do that at this stage in my life. I need to have the right balance for my family and for the number of hobbies I have. I was just talking a few minutes ago about enjoying fitness. And then I'm talking about the Eclectic Candyman. I'm talking about my car, and I'm talking about going on mountain adventures. I have to be responsible at the same time. This is not the stage of my life where I can just fully commit to hobbies and enjoyment. I have a commitment to my kids and the things that are going on with them at school and family, my responsibilities at home and my career and things like that. And it's like a budget. It's like a financial budget. When I look at a financial budget, if things get tight, it's like, even though the small things add up. So it might be like cut and I've looked at it about cutting the show down or trying to minimize it or doing less. But I think, it's like any good show on television. This will be 110 episodes. And I think that's a tremendous run. I want to refocus that effort back into the channel on actual canned videos, which was what Mr. Mountain Man really started out to be. I never started this channel. To be very clear, I never started this channel to be an online personality. That's not where I wanted this to head. I enjoy the Mountain Man Monday, but I'm not trying to brand myself. That a lot of people need to do that. They need to brand their image. They need to brand their channel. They need to, because they're either making it full time or they want to grow it into something massive. But I didn't want to grow myself and a personality. That's not what I was trying to do. What I wanted to do from day one was deliver chimney rock hikes, or maybe the occasional restaurant, or going on a motorcycle ride, or doing something like that. And so I think in that effort, it's like, again, like looking at a family budget. Like if something's getting too expensive, maybe Netflix is only $15 a month, but that's $15. Mountain Man Monday is kind of the same way. 3 hours a week on a pertinent day of the week with the family and work and everything that I've got going on. I need to call it a wrap on Mountain Man Monday. And I do want to thank everybody for your support. And there are some key individuals here that have just about been here since day one that I highly respect and appreciate. And I don't want to not name anybody, because everybody here is kind and I've really enjoyed it. And rest assured, you all see in the travel community, there are umpteen gazillion live streams that you all can socially interact with, and obviously still comment on my videos and things of that nature. Namely Foxy Wolf and Rita. You guys have been here since pretty much day one, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this, this journey of 110 episodes, this block, and I hope you all have gotten satisfaction and enjoyed it too. And a lot of people came along later and have consistently always been here, whether it's Mr. Carlos, Larry, AZ Rock, Kentucky Girl, Ted and Deborah Harrison, Hope Faith. A lot of really good people. And if I'm missing anybody, please don't take that. There's a lot of fantastic folks that have been here. And I want to say thank you. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. But in the interest of doing what's right and having the right balance, I need to put a wrap on the Mountain Man Monday live streams. It's not that I'll never live stream again, but I think this format, I will, it'll cease, and then I will refocus more on making videos for the channel, and also the Eclectic Candyman. I can't be responsible like, again, and this isn't your all problem, but like making videos for Eclectic Candyman and making videos for Mountain Man and doing live streams and going on motorcycle rides and going on car rides and, doing all and going to the gym and doing all this. And then, oh yeah, I have a big family and a career and all this stuff that I need to tend to. So I'm making budget cuts, of time. And this is one of the things. So, I hope you understand. I do apologize. I know many of you really enjoy this. I enjoy it too. Maybe something else will come up in the future, but nothing's happening to the Mr. Mountain Man channel. It's just this format of the show on Monday. I'm going to be bringing to a close here shortly. Let me address the comments on this. Let's see here. Completely understand. There are things I couldn't do 3 years ago. I do now. We all miss Mondays for sure. I know, like, you have family, and I'm not sure if the age of your family getting different and stuff. Yeah, miss you already. And again, Foxy, I appreciate it. You're always one of the first people here, and putting, and a great moderator, and just your insight and information, and being here and friendship, everything. I do appreciate it. And I do know it's sad, and I didn't know how to cut it. And it is, you can tell by my face, I'm not overly enthused. It's not an exciting thing. But again, it's like every favorite show that goes off the air. You watch it for a bunch of years and it kind of stinks. And then it's time to move on to something else. Right now, this is the right thing for me to do. You do you. You always hold a place in our hearts as a go-to live stream. You have your own life to live. We understand. I do appreciate it. I have felt like for a while you're thinking about stopping your live talk. You do what's best for you. Family comes first. You'll be missed Monday. It was always enjoyable. And again, Rita, I mean, I think I just checked episode 1. And I believe you were there. And so, you've been here for a long time, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything, being here. This has been one of the best live streams, well-planned research, never a lull in the conversation. I appreciate that. All about the Smokies. Again, you have a wonderful channel. Everybody, make sure to check it out. And I appreciate the nice comments. Totally get it. We're headed back to Burnsville, so maybe we'll cross paths somewhere on the Parkway. You bet, Mr. Carlos. That definitely could happen. Your family's only young once. You have to put family first in your life. Totally understand. And that's what it was too. I was kind of quantifying the amount of time that I spend with my hobbies, and a good father, a good husband. And by the way, nobody in my family is telling me to stop. This is a decision that I made on my own out of being responsible. So, and I appreciate the understanding. Hook up for lunch, something when I get down to your area. Yeah, if you're coming to Asheville, absolutely. Since you're letting us go, can we get a letter of recommendation? Yeah. Hey, whoever wants to pick up the reins on a live stream, for sure. West Coast Larry Mondays. There you go. Totally understand. I stopped my channel last fall when my husband started having health concerns. Family first. I'm not stopping the channel. And again, for your husband and your family, again, it totally understandable. These things are hobbies to most of us. Some people are turning it into a brand, and that's a different scenario. And those folks got to push it. But I'm not in that same boat. When will Ditdot Tuesday start streaming? Right. Well, Ditdot will be in the videos for sure. And again, maybe the occasional live stream, instead of a video or something like that, where we're able to interact. That is not out of the question. And of course, ever since I crossed over the 1,000 mark, mobile live streams, which I haven't done a lot of because we were always doing this, but I know this stinks. I'm still was mildly on the fence about it, but I had to make the call. And so next week will be the final week of Mountain Man Monday at episode 110. Make sure you don't miss it. Yeah, there is a lot of work. And again, I run 2 YouTube channels, Eclectic Candyman didn't bump Mountain Man Monday, but it's just a factor. Everything's a factor, but I need to basically have my week clear, that every day is flexible, that I can do whatever's needed and be there for the family. Like even at night, my wife can naturally get overwhelmed with the family and the routine, and everybody's tired on Mondays. So, but they're understanding too. I had no pressure from the family. So hopefully it will continue on, and on other live streams, and people able to enjoy that. All right. Moving past that, let me please get to our traditional um, news and notes for the week of April the 4th, 2022. Let me go ahead and share that here. And this one. And here we go. All three of these articles, I think, are pretty cool. Starting off with, this is something I do plan on getting to. I would like to get to this year. I don't know if I'll make a video or not, because the trains is something that, I think the family be interested in, but I would like to make some videos up here. But a lot of you are familiar. I did have a Tweetsie Railroad article about a year and a half ago. I think maybe Foxy had been there, or some of the others, but North Carolina's Tweetsie Railroad set to reopen this spring. It's more than just a railroad. It's a small, I don't want to use it theme park in the literal sense. Like, we think of theme park and we think of rides and all this stuff. I mean, they have some small rides, but it is a themed park, Old West railroad type park. Very cool. Blowing Rock, North Carolina. North Carolina's Tweetsie Railroad reopens in April, ahead of some upcoming events, including a visit from the Easter Bunny. The iconic theme park will open Saturday, April 9th, and will operate on a weekend schedule from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. until summer. I'll tell you what, that 6 p.m., Dollywood used to do that, or sometimes did. That'll come up and bite you quickly. I mean, this time of the year, thankfully, it's light until 8 or 8:30, so 6 seems kind of early, but I'm sure it's probably reasonable for the park. Starting May 28th, the park is open Thursdays through Mondays before resuming a weekend-only schedule on August 14th. We can't wait to see our beloved park open again this season. Tweetsie Railroad's Kathy Robbins said, "Tweetsie's charm lies in the memories we provide for all generations." Below is Tweetsie's 2022 current event schedule. Well, they have a bunch of stuff. Visit with the Easter Bunny, Day Out with Thomas, July 4th fireworks, canines, in-flight frisbee dogs, cool, Raiders in the Sky, Railroad Heritage Weekend, Ghost Train on Friday and Saturday evenings, Tweetsie Christmas on select evenings from November 25th to December 30th. There is no tradition like a Tweetsie tradition, and we hope all our regular visitors and lots of new ones will make plans to make several trips to the park this year. Some of the park's features include live shows, amusement rides, and a 3-mile adventure with historic steam locomotives. Single-day tickets are $58 for adults and $39 for kids. Children 2 and under are free. Golden Rail season pass tickets are $134 for adults and $90 for children. This year, Golden Rail season pass holders also get a bring a friend free ticket. Ooh, taking a page out of Dollywood, by the way. They give you tickets, which I thought is a great perk, to use in April or May. Season pass holders from 2021 will receive a discount if they renew again in 2022. Nice. Tweetsie Railroad is located on U.S. Highway 321 between Boone and Blowing Rock. For more information, visit tweetsie.com. Tweetsie, like Dollywood, has a real steam engine locomotive and a pretty cool track. I've seen some YouTube videos on it. Let me hide that. I kind of had that in the way. Anybody commenting on that? Love the Tweetsie Railroad. Yes, I remember you did say that, and I really want to get there this year. I would love to get there and check it out. So grateful for the time spent. You got me through all the pandemic, and I gained so much insight into the culture of Western North Carolina. Moving to Hendersonville next week. Woohoo! Best to the family will continue to follow. You're going to love it in Western North Carolina, and Hendersonville is a beautiful, beautiful city. Quite frankly, a lot of the comparisons I was making earlier about Gatlinburg to some of the nicer Western North Carolina cities, Hendersonville was one of the first that came to my mind. Very clean, very local, very neat place to be. And I wish you luck there. And I appreciate the comments from both of you on the pandemic. Sounds like a fun place to go. Yeah, they so what they have there is they have the steam train, they have like a bouncy house, they have some Western characters, they have souvenirs. If anybody else has been there, let me know. But they have some like fair type rides. So it's not like I don't think it's something you would go for like 3 days in a row or something like that. But going to one of these event style things is probably a good idea. Like the canines or the Christmas or the Easter bunny or something like that. All right. Next up. This is funny. North Carolina woman fights to keep her fart license plate. That is indeed a legitimate North Carolina license plates, Friends of the Smokies. So if you like bears, you can get it. And she got it personalized with the word fart, which I think is awesome. And this made national coverage. This lady was on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and she is from Asheville, North Carolina. That's the license plate. One North Carolina woman paid extra money to have on the back of her vehicle. Carly Cindy of Asheville said the DMV approved her personalized license plate in October. She's a bit surprised but excited when she received it. She put it in her truck and went on her merry way, driving around with fart on the back of her pickup. That's awesome. But then on February 25th, she received a letter in the mail from the DMV. The letter stated the DMV had received some complaints about the plate. My goodness gracious. Of all the things in the world, and fart on a license plate drives people crazy, give me a break. But anyway, she and some friends, they're probably jealous. So she and some friends online put their heads together and came up with an attempt to save the fart. They decided to tell the DMV that it was an acronym for their completely made up group, Friends of Asheville Recreational Trails, FART, Friends of Asheville Recreational Trails. The article gets good because now it's real. Well, we will say completely made up, but that's not exactly accurate now. Now the group does exist. Cindy even says she has 15 people show up at the group's first meeting. The group now has a mailing list, a website, promotional stickers, and t-shirts. As for the license plate, it's yet to be seen if the DMV will allow Cindy to keep using fart. Time will tell if fart joins the list. This is a real group now. They go out and they hike trails. There is a I didn't have it on here. There is I downloaded a picture. There is a festival they're having in April 23rd called Fart Fest with music, comedy, and good company. Enjoy a day of music and comedy. Hominy Creek River Bar on Hominy Creek Road, and that's in Asheville. So I think it's hilarious. And she even got on Jimmy Kimmel showing her license plate. I think that picture was from the show. So anyway, that's hilarious. I think it's so funny. I just think there's so many things in the world that people could be placing their energy on as opposed to stopping this woman for having a silly license plate. But anyway, yeah, that is funny. That's better than what some things that could be put on the plate. And it's really cool too that she turned it into a legitimate recreational group that goes out and hiking and stuff like that. You had seen her on the news. I was going to say something about it a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And, also you had seen the railroad. Yitz did a video, or I had talked about it. We had an article about a year ago or so. I didn't know about the place. And then when I did, I think it was Foxy or somebody had been there before and said it's absolutely a lot of fun. Yeah, what a way to what a way to get a nice group together. And they had some pictures, and it's like all ages and people hiking and stuff. I was like, man, I need to go check that out or something. Probably want to be in front and not behind them when you're on the trail, right? I wanted that sticker. They made stickers that say fart, and you can buy them. And I think if it would be the license plate, that would be the coolest, because I do get stickers when I go to different places and I put them on the refrigerator. But they have stickers, but they don't have the license plate sticker. So anyway, too bad. I'll have to try to look into that. But yes, I hope she keeps it. That article was from a month ago. I hope she got to keep it and the DMV backed off. Who in the world's going to complain about that? I was talking about those t-shirts in Gatlinburg that have completely obscene stuff on them. If you're, young child's walking by and nobody's going to do anything, but this lady who's got a great big smile, probably super happy, and has a funny look at that bear. It's staring at the word fart. I don't know. A little humor goes a long way, and it's not hurting anybody. Here's another article. A very cool place, and I do plan on doing a video here at some point. I've wanted to do one for the last couple of years. The Pisgah Inn, which is seasonal, reopens with changes made. As the inn reopened for the 103rd time, the owner O'Connell said some challenges remain, like hiring staff, but overall, especially when it comes to dining, the experience is now enhanced. The mob scene that was here 40 years is now gone. Wow, that's crazy. There are other food options too, including for folks popping in and out. We've established a grab and go operation for sandwiches, salads, and similar type of food. People can pick up and take outside and sit in those rocking chairs down there and enjoy the view. We're eating dinner here tonight. A passerby said Friday afternoon while waiting for the formal opening to get into her room, because it's also a hotel. It's an inn, obviously, and for an overdue reunion with a friend. We're supposed to be here 2 years ago and had to cancel because of the pandemic. They have a crew there dusting, polishing, mopping, sweeping, and picking up sticks. It's an opening that coincides with the reopening of most of the southern end of the Blue Ridge Parkway. Conditions remain dry, but is most focused on residual winter weather, possibly closing the road. No, I don't think so. My biggest worry is that not really forest fires. I think we're pretty safe up here. The Forest Service does a good job of protecting us. The campgrounds won't open until May. Urge visitor to be careful with cigarette butts. Yep. That's going to help us avoid anything. Man, this got all messed up. I apologize. Like whatever I copied, the article got all twisted around. Anyway, what happened? This place has a place to eat with amazing views. They used to have a menu, but I think, as they mentioned, it's grab and go. And I had seen a picture, and it's like sandwiches with chips and stuff. That's a little unfortunate because, as I had seen before, there was like a super decent, I was about to say super nice, but it's like a pretty nice restaurant that had a lunch and dinner menu. I need to look into that more. Nothing wrong with grab and go. It is convenient, but I would have really liked to have gone up there if they had a lunch and dinner menu and checked it out. Not that it had to be overly great food. I could have had a hamburger or, a BLT or, whatever. It didn't matter. But, maybe something that wasn't in a plastic container. But anyway, this place is pretty cool. I would love it. If I had a goal this year, it would be to get there and to check it out. Of course, you've seen me go up there before on the motorcycle a few times, and I've put pictures from it as well. Here is your 7-day Asheville Mountains or Western North Carolina forecast. Highs in the 60s. Check out Wednesday, getting a little bit higher there, then dropping back down. This is a crazy time of the year. This is when people get colds. Because it's almost 80. And then if you look at Saturday, that's a little surprising. Wait, is that a snowflake on that Saturday picture? I was trying to zoom. It doesn't let me zoom. I think that's a snowflake. I know we're not getting any snow. Just the very fact that it's touching 32 degrees means you might see a flurry. Nothing's going to stick, but wow. Like I thought we were done and clear with that, but that's fine with me. I don't think that'll stay. My guess is that low temperature will creep up, but I did not notice that when I screenshot that. I thought that was a rain graphic, but that is indeed a snow graphic. Let me see what comments are over here. Yes, it'd be a moneymaker. Well, now why not? She's making stickers and shirts and all kinds of stuff. The views are fantastic. Mount Pisgah. So if you want, a little bit of a broken history. I say broken because I don't have it exact, but everybody knows the Biltmore, right? The Biltmore and the Vanderbilt family. Well, the Biltmore is positioned, and the amount of land that he gobbled up, a lot of it had to do with having a direct view of Mount Pisgah, where this inn is. That inn is at the very top of Mount Pisgah, and there are incredible views. If I recall, I'm reading a book that my mom got me, but it's about clear views. He kept buying land up so that he would have unobstructed views of the mountain. It wasn't that he bought all the land from the Biltmore all the way to the mountain. That would have been too much. But he bought enough so that if there was development, that you wouldn't be able to see it from the estate. And that holds true to today. If you're on the estate, you can't really see anything else, which is amazing. I've talked about this before. You ever take off in an airplane from Asheville, it's pretty incredible because normally a city our size or comparable to it, when you take off, it's always the same. Downtown, lots of houses, suburban area, and very consistent. But Asheville's weird because we have downtown, lots of houses. Then all of a sudden, very close to downtown, you have this big, huge area of green land, and there's nothing on it except for one house, which is the Biltmore. That land in proximity to such a large size city that cannot be developed on, it's kind of crazy to see it. It's like, well, what happened on that land? Well, that's where the Biltmore is. And he has enough land, I say he, but when they built it, that you don't really see like a strip mall or the view of downtown Asheville or anything like that. You basically just see out to Mount Pisgah. It's really cool. No more snow. I'll be in Ohio next week. Right. It can go away. Stayed at Pisgah 20 years ago. Remember they had a really nice sit down restaurant. That's the one I'm talking about. And silly me should have gone there a couple of years ago before the pandemic, and I would have gotten to experience like that. I believe my wife confirmed that. I think she took her parents up there and mentioned, I said, oh, how was the restaurant? She said, it was just, she didn't call it grab and go. She's like, it was takeout. Like you just buy stuff and take it, and then you could sit down. Whatever. I'll still do it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a restaurant review, as long as I can, as long as I can at least check out the views and stuff like that. That'd be a good one to go on the motorcycle and then check out. I just have to check if it's open on a Saturday or how late the hours are on the, during the week. Here's the thing I'm learning about the motorcycle, in Western North Carolina. I have to be very careful. I've had a motorcycle for almost 20 years now, and a good portion of that was in Florida. And part of that was when I lived in Charlotte, and I never had a problem. I didn't choose to want to do it, but I never really had a problem riding at night. I would use yellow, glasses to kind of brighten things up. I would not do it a lot, but if I was at bike week or something like that, I would, be safe. But it was something I would do a lot. But around here, I went on a motorcycle ride on my birthday about a year and a half or so ago. And I went all up Burnsville and just trying to get lost, and Mount Mitchell and all over the place. And what I started to notice about 4 o'clock in the evening, I'd be riding down these 2-lane roads that had like, tall grass, let's call it, whatever it was on the side of the road, just, kind of gently going in the wind. And my motorcycle humming down, and all of a sudden a rabbit would come across the road, and then a rabbit would come across the road. Those things, and they don't happen in the middle of the day. They don't happen in the morning. There's something about dusk that the rabbits start to get active, and I don't know if they're moving around and the motorcycle would bother them. And then I've seen that the last time I was out in the motorcycle. So long story long, even though I feel completely comfortable and safe at dusk or in the evening hours, I think the very fact that animals are running more often in the evening, maybe because of the cooler temps or something, that they become, I don't know if they're nocturnal and they start to mess around or something, or getting ready for bed, whatever. Seems like I kind of want to be off the road by about 6 p.m. Anyway, long story even longer, what I was thinking through my head was I should go to the Pisgah Inn in the evening during the week. If they're open, they'll say 8 or 9 o'clock. But I really don't want to be on the Blue Ridge at night. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud. I think I just should go there on a Saturday. But yeah. My Moon Village tunnel video is out in that area, and there are supposedly a lot of Glassman sightings. Oh, okay. That was in reference to what Kentucky girl was talking about. Oh, Grassman. Will you still keep your email so we want to get in touch with you? Yes. Email is on my channel. I apologize again. I'm not always, I forget about it sometimes and I don't check it. Yes, that's not going anywhere. And so, one time I was going to, Yeah, unfortunately, you would. Well, I'm so happy actually you got to see Dr. J and his wife because of what happened and occurred. But I think it was a Thursday, and during the week is not good for me. But anyway, had that been a Saturday and I had time to plan or something, it might have been different, and I might have been able to come out for a slice of pizza. But who knows? Maybe someday that type of thing could occur. Thank you, Foxy. See, this is what's excellent. You had the information. Rabbits feed at dusk. So that it's part of Western North Carolina. If I'm going to ride, I need to, I think I need to call it a day by about 4:30 or 5, because this, thankfully, when I came back from Tail of the Dragon, that wasn't so bad. They're not as much on the bigger roads, although I don't want to be naive that they wouldn't come across a 4-lane highway. But the 2-lane highways with tall grass, which, oh, by the way, is like 75% of our roads in Western North Carolina, those ones seem to be susceptible. Shoo, shoo, going across. So yeah, I wouldn't want to ride a cycle at night in my area. Too many deer. Yeah. And grassmen. Right. Living like Larry. That's right. All right. So, anyway, that is the, stop screen share, put my banner back on. That was the news and notes for the week of April the 4th, 2022. By the way, on April 1st, anybody do a good April Fool's joke? I always forget till the days later. I did get my wife with something. What was it? Oh, man. I had her going. I told her real quickly, though. I was like, April Fool's. She's like, what? But I amused myself for about 5 minutes. Anybody else do anything on April 1st? Julia Roberts. Oh, wow. That's really cool. So you see some movie. Did you say hello, or it was just like one of those things you took a picture from a distance? I always, so I'm a big fan of Top Gun, the movie. It's like my favorite movie of all time. And the new one, Top Gun 2, is coming out in about a month. Did you all know, little fun fact, Kelly McGillis, who played Charlie, they don't use her name a ton in the movie, but basically Tom Cruise's girlfriend, she lives in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And I was at the grocery store 3 years ago on St. Patrick's Day. And I was by myself. The family was in the car. And I was checking out on a self-checkout. Self-checkout. And I turned to my right, because I don't usually pay attention to strangers. And I looked. And I'm like, that's Kelly McGillis. But if you know about her, she's more of a private person. She turned away from Hollywood, per what I know, and she enjoys her life in the arts, but in a different manner. I think teaching or something like that. And that's great. Respect everybody, as they evolve over time. But I believe she might be a bit shy to it too. Maybe. And so all I said to her is, I said, is your name Kelly? And she kind of timidly said yes. And then I said, I just said, Happy St. Patrick's Day. And she said, Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too. I think about that moment often, and I'm like, dang it, you should have been like, thank you so much for Top Gun. What a cool movie. I've seen it 3,958 times. It was such a fun movie, and I appreciate you being in it and all that stuff. But and so anyway, that was cool to run into somebody, especially from my favorite movie. Have you ever said what you do for a living? If it's private, I understand. I just wonder for a long time. Yeah, I don't, let me address that for a minute too about the channel. This is another thing that you have to be willing to do. You have to be willing to do, I think, is almost a requirement when you become a YouTube channel, is to, people want to know. Most people do get into what they do, where they live, how many kids, what their kids, some people plaster their kids all over their channel. My reservations about that mostly are, whoever knows what life they'll lead when they grow up and what they want to do. I am so proud of my family and my kids. But I think it's the conservative and right move not to put them on the YouTube channel. I know other people do it. They have them in their thumbnail. They, they have multiple kids. That's part of the channel. They say their names, what grade, and all this stuff. I just don't have that same clarity on the how sound that is. And my personal decision and my wife's has been not to do that, as well as some personal details and things of that nature. Um, I'm, I'm in the, like IT industry. And so, that's why I'm halfway decent with computers. And, we'll put it at that. But I think that's one of the other things too, is one of my things is I realize that the right, if you have a YouTube channel and you want to get personal, people are going to expect information from you. And so, and I think if you want to be a public personality, you have to divulge that. And that's not something, so I know it's nothing special about me or anything like that, by far from it. Trust me. Just that, and certainly not this intimate group. Mr. Carlos, Rita, Foxy, AZ Rock, Kentucky Girl, Larry, Ted and Deborah Harrison, I mean, if we were all sitting around the campfire, I mean, whatever, but it's different because it's not that this is a public channel, open to everything. So it's, again, hence the comments and the segue from earlier. I never really wanted to be like a public personality. And so, yeah, on that end, it would be difficult too, as the channel grew, to kind of continue on that trajectory of being private, because people expect, and it's their right. If they're committed to you, and I don't want to say it's their right, but if people are committed and they spend a lot of time watching your channel, they want to know. And so that's kind of the MO for a channel that, somebody grows their brand and they get, they divulge a lot of information. But it wasn't something I ever intended. I kind of hitched on the wagon and followed the format, but I never really started to realize that wasn't part of the path that I wanted to get on. But again, it's not the good group that's here, but I don't control that. Who knows, who's watching. Again, there's really nothing significant or magnificent or overly interesting. It's just it's a blanket abstract, conservative move that just to, to be, mild, it's about the content. This channel and the Eclectic Candyman are about the content, not about me. And so anyway, I don't know. Hope that answered question. No, she was 5 foot from me, walking her dog, and ran in and out, dressed as a rabbit. Right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. A YouTube channel on April 1st said they were giving it up to learn an instrument. Many comments, and they said, April Fools. Oh, okay, that's good. My mother was born on April Fool's Day. My daddy said she was a fool baby. It's funny because Rita, we've talked about before, my grandmother from Old Hickory, and her birthday's April 2nd, well, just a few days ago. And so it must have been something in that area, because I know that's near from where you live or reside too. So a lot of people born about that same time. Second one will be out soon. Yeah. Where would we be without the IT people? That's right. IT people are important. That's good. Yes. How's the Starlink coming? So Starlink, first of all, I vouch for it. If you live in a rural or mountainous area and don't have great internet, I think it is excellent. It is so fast compared to what we have. I'm not talking about y'all who have fiber or, just, blazing high-speed internet. So I get somewhere in the neighborhood of like 200 down, 10 to 15 up, which was way better than the like 15 to 20 down and 1 up that I had previously. 1 to 2 up. That's why live streams were difficult, because on that upload, it's just stinky. Here's the deal. Starlink comes with a proprietary router that has no pass-through Ethernet. So depending on how much coverage you want, you might be fine. You put that one router in the right spot and you get full coverage. But most people these days use some kind of mesh system to expand their network, including myself. Well, in order to hook up your own routers or bypass their router, you need their proprietary $20 Ethernet adapter, which I ordered day one because I didn't do my homework and I should have realized this. And it is on back order, and it has been on back order for a month and a half. And I am waiting patiently for it because I want to quit my old internet, but I can't quit it for parts of where certain devices are too far away from where the router is. And I can't move the router because I had it mounted through the ceiling and blah, 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 blah. So you are not witnessing me on Starlink. You are witnessing me on my old AT&T internet. And as soon as I can get my proprietary adapter and the mesh network set up, this AT&T is gone. I have run into several celebrities, but hardly ever recognized them at a time. A lot of times was when I was a waitress. Oh, okay, cool. Trying to think who else I ran into. I don't know. That's about it. I mean, I've seen NASCAR drivers and stuff, but yeah, I don't remember anybody else. Who would you all like to meet, though? Like, I used to be starstruck when I was younger than I am now. Now I realize, metaphorical expression. Everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, meaning everybody's equal. Nobody's larger than life. How many metaphors you want? So I wouldn't go super, over the top. I'm trying to think who I would like to meet. Well, there's some generic ones. This is in no particular. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger would be cool to meet just because bodybuilder and everything that he did. That was, such a full life. Who else? Tom Hanks would be kind of cool. I'm drawing a blank because I'm sure there are people that I'd be like, you know what? These days, I really like. I think it's all about the shows that I watch. So I really like SEAL Team, the show. I've mentioned that before. So I wouldn't mind meeting a few of the actors from that show. I think that would be pretty cool because they seem like on and off the camera, like really cool people. David Boreanaz and, Tony Trucks and some of those other people on that show. That would be pretty cool to see. Some of the, I don't know. Who else I don't know. I'm sitting here, Steelers. I wouldn't mind meeting Coach Tomlin, Ben Roethlisberger, Jerome Bettis. Yeah, those would be kind of cool people to meet. I don't know. Anybody, you guys would be like, oh, if I met this person. I was watching 1883. I think Tim McGraw would be a cool person to shake hands with and say howdy to. He seems like a cool dude. Didn't know that much about. No, he's married to Faith Hill, but yeah. Stuck in California, can't find anyone who knows the software I'm helping them with out here. You caught a live stream. That's awesome. Glad to have you here. Story has it. I hope you're having a great start to your week and a nice Monday. I've met lots of rock stars, just a couple of actors. Oh, wait, I've met lots of rock stars, just a couple actors now out here. Yeah. As far as famous people, I had a pick made with the VP, the governor, congressman, a senator, not saying who don't want to get political. Oh, not saying because you don't want to get political. It's still cool though. I think in any realm, doesn't matter which side of the aisle. If you meet somebody impressive, I think that's pretty neat. And regardless, whatever president or whatever somebody thinks about, if you ever meet a president or vice president, that is a historical thing, no matter who it is. I'm sure other people would feel differently, but I skipped down a couple. Robert Plant, that's pretty cool. Now, Robert Plant, he has a little bit of a questionable personality, right? Like I heard he was kind of rough around the edges. We're talking about old Leonard. Sorry, not like Led Zeppelin. Excuse me. Right? Yes. And anyway, he did. What was it? It was Farm Aid, or was it What was the other one? Not Farm Aid, the one for Ethiopia in 1985, or it was for Africa. Why am I drawing a blank? I'm gonna tell you the story here in a second. Um, USA for Africa, that was We Are the World. What the heck? When did Queen sing? You know, at Wembley? What was why am I drawing that? A blank for that. Live Aid, Live Aid, Live Aid, Live Aid, Live Aid, not Farm Aid. Live Aid. Live Aid had a simulcast in Philadelphia, I believe, or it was New York, and at Wembley Stadium. And Robert Plant had one, they were getting a little long in the tooth at that point, I think Led Zeppelin, but they had come back together or something. But something happened with the drummer. And so they asked Phil Collins to play. But Phil was not anticipating playing for them. And obviously, we all know Phil Collins is an extremely talented drummer, Genesis and solo. But anyway, he didn't play up to Robert Plant's standards. And I guess there were some choice words about Phil Collins and the way he played and stuff, which was completely rude because Phil Collins was just trying to do a favor. Anyway, that doesn't take away, by the way, Christina, from that cool experience. Long story long, as I like to go on here, that was just something I heard. But anyway, if you met him, that would, or you want to meet him, by the way, if you want to meet him, that might be that either you met him or wanted to meet him. I met several. Love to meet Luke Goss. Nice, yes. Drive a Prius out here. Arnold will park his SUV. Nice. That's super cool. Yeah. Arnold just seems like a cool dude. I watch whenever he posts something on Facebook or YouTube or something like that. What well, yeah, I don't want to get political, but yeah, there was a little bit of a falling out between him and Brian. I just said his name earlier. What's his face? World's Strongest Man, over some comments Arnold made. Well, it was really, the whole deal was unfortunate. It stunk that happened. I told Marty Robbins he looked like Marty Robbins. I didn't know who he was. You know, that's the thing. Somebody gets starstruck too, or you know, as a tangent, you know, get tongue twisted and say something. You know, even it's funny because I say put pants on one leg at a time. But like when I was at that Steelers game, I got a picture with Juju Smith-Schuster, although he's not a Steeler anymore. No, we're not getting Baker. What? No. we got, and that's a reference Larry's saying about an ex Cleveland Brown named Baker. Why? Oh my gosh, I am Baker Mayfield. I was saying Baker Matthew. Why am I drawing blanks? Must be tired. Baker Mayfield. I don't know who he's going to go to. The Steelers ended up. We ended up getting the guy from Chicago, which is Mitch Trubisky, and Mitch. So we'll have to see how that goes. I remember a decade and a half when I was growing up of the Steelers having so non-franchise quarterbacks. So I don't know if we're back in that period again. We'll have to see. Who knows? Baker Mayfield makes too much sense for one team. Have to see. I did mention before, I never cared for Baker Mayfield when he played for Oklahoma, and he came into Ohio State, beat us, and he took that Oklahoma flag and put it right on the block O. It was a regular season game. He ended up apologizing for it later. I mean, he's just a kid, but it was still tacky, and his coaches should have prevented him from doing it. Yeah, glad to have you here. Live Aid, yes, thank you. And you got to me. I just didn't get to the comments. Tom hates. Kate Beckinsale, yes. Live Aid, yes. Epic Queen stole the show. Yeah, that's a great movie, by the way. If you ever get to see the movie about it, what is it? The Queen movie? What's it called? Oh, it's called Bohemian Rhapsody from 2018. It's a great movie. And If you ever watch, there's a great YouTube video of the movie versus the real Live Aid. They got it down to the Pepsi cup on the piano and the beer next to it and like everything. It was crazy how attention to detail. Farm Aid was Willie Nelson. Yes, thank you. I met Roger Daltrey one time in England. It was at a trout farmers convention. Apparently he has a trout farm. Here's a tangent. I love rainbow trout. Rainbow trout. You guys like rainbow trout? If I'm going to have a fish, I enjoy rainbow trout. Met the guys in Cinderella, Bad Company, Mariah Carey, Ronnie, James Dio, Holly Dunn, Cindy Crawford, some no names, Indians, and some St. Louis Cardinals, Firehouse, Gin Blossoms. Wow. Do you go to like a lot of concert and get like backstage passes, or were you in like traveling type stuff? That's really cool. That's really cool that you met all those folks. I think I know everybody in there except for Holly Dunn. But if you tell me, I probably know. Arnold did that about a month ago. Ran over Prius. I need to look at that. You really need Baker. You guys sold your soul for what's his face out of the Houston. But by that I mean all those first round draft picks and everything. I hope I don't hope, but for you all as fans, I'm sure you're hoping that he pays dividends for you guys. It was cool, Larry, until he announced his new slogan. Don't be stout, eat trout. That's pretty good. Hollywood Larry, great name. That could be super cool. 200 concerts. Wow. I've been to like, if you don't count like kids concerts and stuff like that, like at school, like if you count like you pay a ticket type concerts, I've probably been to 10 to 15 concerts in my life. And no particular reason. It's not like I don't like them. I enjoy music a lot. I don't know. I mean, there were so many years where my wife and I were, just getting going and we had bigger things we needed to purchase. Like I remember one time I really liked Fleetwood Mac, and we went to see Fleetwood Mac about 15 years ago when they had the Say You Will tour. And they stopped in Greenville, South Carolina, and we lived in Charlotte. And I ended up spending something like $250 a ticket for floor tickets, about, I don't know, 2 dozen rows back or something. But it was so worth it. But that kind of money back then was like, just a boatload of money. So it seemed like, but we all, who else we saw? We also saw Elton John in Daytona Beach. We saw Elton John. That was cool. And I told you guys I saw Gordon Lightfoot right before the pandemic. I love Gordon Lightfoot. I'm not just the eclectic candy man. I have a very eclectic range of music that I like too. I don't really get pigeonholed into like one genre. And I like music that spans a lot of decades too, from 60s to modern, current. So anyway, she's saying Daddy's Hands country singer from the 80s. Okay. Oh, and you're not a Browns fan, right? You are what? Bengals? No, what the heck are you, Larry? I know you're a Buckeyes fan. What are you? Anyway, best friend's a Steelers fan. Don't know why I hang out with them, because he's a good dude, right? Maybe I'll meet Howie Mandel Thursday. Got a ticket to go to America's Got Talent. Ooh, that's pretty cool. I've seen that show on television a couple of times. All right. Well, I'll probably give it a couple more minutes. I know since this is the second to last Mountain Man Monday, I wanted to extend it a little bit, and hopefully you guys are enjoying that. But I do think with how late it is, I probably will wrap it up here in just a couple of minutes. Your future is so bright, you got to wear shades, living like Larry. Yeah, I still like that suggestion by, who was it? KG, or Story Has It? Hollywood Larry. That's a good name. That would be pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, if you missed the announcement, anybody who joined late, we'll be putting a wrap on the Mountain Man Monday next week. So, I did wonder about, 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, I did on this live stream, there's the capability of having people join the live stream. it would just be about the timing. Does anybody would anybody of the main folks want to be on camera for like Larry, Foxy, or Rita? By the way, you do not have to do this. This is an off the cuff idea. I'm just talking about doing, do you guys remember a while ago I invited somebody and you can use your camera and audio and you can be on the live stream itself? If any of you three were interested, or somebody else, I have to be careful though. I've seen on live streams, like, because you have to pass out a link. And so I'd have to figure out a way to get only you guys the link via email or something like that ahead of time for the show. Yeah, we should make it a potluck, right? That would be kind of fun if you did that. You have to change the name. It's SpongeBob now. That's right. The fun live stream, except for the sad news, but you have to do what you have to do. I know it is a somber to have to do that, but again, it's the channel is alive and strong. It's just this format, and this has been a great run for almost 3 years and 110 episodes it'll be. And I'll still do an occasional live stream, maybe in a different format or something like that, or maybe just the occasional one. But yeah, anyway, let me see here. Larry or Foxy be good. I don't know how to do that stuff. Yeah, I wanted to extend the information. I don't know if Foxy, I do not show my face, and that's okay. I don't want anybody to have to do that. Maybe we should get a cake next week for the going away party. Get you. Yeah, I should bring a something ice for that. And Larry, if you've been on that, if you want to, I mean, I could try to do that. Put your face on there and pass you the link. Need to send me an email. My email's on the YouTube channel. You got to go to the about, and then you can get the email address from there if you're interested. Or if Dr. J, but he's not here. See what has happened is some people put that link in the chat, and then you get trolls who come in and they'll do all kinds of absurd stuff. And so you have to know who you're communicating with to give them access to it. Or we can just do this format. It doesn't have to be like that. Yeah, if somebody's highly interested in it, you can send an email. Maybe we'll do it. But at least we can spend time. I'll also try to, unless something comes up, I'll try to extend the live stream and do it, at least a couple of hours next week. To enjoy and catch the folks there. I like Living Like Larry name. It sounds like a good sitcom. It does. By the way, here's a little tangent for you. I don't know why I was having nostalgia or something like that, speaking of which, and I was looking up like old 80s sitcoms. Some I watched, some I didn't. Do you guys remember like Valerie's Family? And then she had a contract dispute, and then it was the Hogan Family. And then I was like, just that search ended up coming up with like the Carol Burnett Show, although that wasn't really the 80s. That was 67 to 78. I don't know if a lot of you watched that. That actually, I watched like 1 or 2 episodes, was super funny. I know Carol Burnett. That was a little before my time, but the funny thing was that it's a variety show, but it was kind of like the stepping stone for Saturday Night Live, with the type of humor and the comedy that they had. Anyway, that was something else. I was just putting in all these like old sitcoms and stuff like that, things that went off the air. It's funny what you can find on YouTube. I don't know if any of you guys would watch that, but yes, his name sounds like that. I think I speak for all of us when I say, truly going to miss you Mondays. Lots of love in here. Couldn't have found a better group. I appreciate that. I really, trust me, it wasn't an easy decision. I know there are folks here that really look forward to this on Monday. So I apologize to anyone that feels like maybe the rug is getting pulled out from underneath them. And I know everybody says the right thing, like, my family and stuff like that. But it certainly wasn't a tease. I never meant to do this and just, stop abruptly. But Rita, you read my mind right. You mentioned earlier you had kind of wondered. It had been something, trust me, I had been contemplating this for about a year. If that gives you guys any, this is not off the cuff. I had thought, do I need to keep doing the live streams? But I kept pushing because I know how much people enjoy it, but I don't need to drone on about it. It is a tough decision. It was a tough decision, but we will stay social and interact in other ways. And I will do the occasional live stream so we can still connect. Probably what I'll do though is probably try to, don't hold me to this, but my initial thinking would be to incorporate more live streams in a location where I know there's good, reception, so that I can incorporate what this channel's about into that. Being on location somewhere cool, walking around a place and flipping the camera around, showing you all, and hopefully it's not windy like that time I did it in Myrtle Beach. Yeah. Mondays have been my only normal days out here, thanks to you. And I appreciate that. And I feel really sad. I hope that, maybe you should pick them up on Monday, Larry. I know you've got the channel, and start up. What do you have? Like, what starts with an M? Monday, Larry Monday. I don't know. LMNOP. Like, can you get the acronym? I don't know. Something you could probably do it. Carol Burnett was funny. Yes. She, again, a little before my time, but again, I'm very eclectic. Like, I really don't fit, like, if something is neat, I don't judge. I'm just like, let me check it out. And Carol Burnett, she's so talented. And I watched a documentary about her afterwards. Just a charismatic, rough upbringing, actually. When she was a child, both her parents were alcoholics, and she was raised by her grandma. That's why she used to tug on the ears. That'd be her saying hello to her grandma, because when she got on TV, she wasn't allowed to wave to him. So that's what she did. But yeah, variety show. That's right. Night Court was another one. Yes. I did watch that a little bit as a kid. Remember the tall, bald guy and the lady that was in that? I remember that show. I watched a lot of stuff, Three's Company and Full House, Growing Pains, Who's the Boss, Wonder Years. I'm kind of bouncing all around that decade, but lots of stuff. Night Court on Prime. Prime has a lot of good stuff. Great when you did that. Yes. Thanks again, Mount Man, for another fun evening. You've done well by how much you've done well by how much you'll be missed. Have a great week. Thank you so much, Mr. Carlos. Really enjoyed having you here this evening. Live streams on location are nice. Yes. I think I would like to start doing that more. I mean, it won't be on a weekly basis, but obviously helps with not having to edit a video, and I can still interact with the community. Don't be sad. Just want you to know we appreciate the time, and I do appreciate it. I do. Bull was the tall guy with the bald head. Yeah. P.S. We will still be seeing weekly postings on Instagram. Let's go. Absolutely. Nice. Instagram will be there, and the shorts and stuff like that. And again, really, I look into the camera. Thank you all for being here and enjoying this. And not many people, not even, well, Carol Burnett, I happen to know because I just looked it up. That was 287 episodes, I think they did. Mount Man Monday got 110. So we didn't quite make half that, but sometimes things come to an end. So anyway, we'll have a good time next week. Yeah, everybody have a great week. It's been a very good live tonight. As always, stay safe. Everybody out there, stay safe. Enjoy springtime. Hope you have a wonderful, happy, healthy, and safe week. And until next Monday, you all have a wonderful week. Good night, everyone. We'll see you next time.